Hey everybody, it's Cindy over at paper.old.new. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for stopping by and spending some time with me today. I am looking at, as you can see, I've got my box of greeting cards out here. I'm looking at a project that I did a while back that I kept meaning to come back to that I haven't, and I really want to work on making some more of these. These were to be added into your journals as glued in. As you can see, I've cut a notch there, so it's a glued in pocket that flips open, and then you have a flip out here for journaling, and I put a pocket in it. And I love this for cards where you really like the front cover and you want to preserve it. So I have chosen some cards out of my box. I didn't think you wanted to sit here and flip through my box with me. So we've got about 5 cards. I'm being ambitious again. The first step, of course, is to cover the inside. So I covered it with coffee dyed paper. You can cover it with anything. That one, I mean, if you don't want to cover it, you don't have to. It's white. So, I mean, that could be left on its own. Some of these do not have any kind of sentiment in them. So if you have a card like that, this first step, heck, I think I chose, no, this one has to be covered. And I'm actually thinking about cutting this off. So what we're going to do first is cut that off. The other thing is I used, as you can see here, I used double-sided paper for this. Okay. So, the other thing we're going to have to do is choose some coordinating double-sided paper. You do not have to use double-sided paper for this. Obviously, if you don't have any, you can do whatever you want to the other side of your item. This just was something that I was looking at my double-sided paper pad and I was messing around with these cards. I want to say the first time I did this was for I don't honestly remember. I think it was for a Shop My Stash 2023, which I was thrilled to see that she's doing so much better that she started it back up again. I just haven't had time to go back to where I left off. Sorry about that, Lori. I love that you have started it back up again, though. I think that's great. So we're going to cut that one off. No sentiment on the front. It did say, hello, how are you today? Now, I might keep that and use it for something else. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cover the inside of this. So let's get a piece of my coffee dyed paper. You know what I'm going to do real quick? I'm going to put my box away so I have more space. I've gotten my greeting cards out. We don't need that. Okay, and we'll lay our cards off to the side over here. With our coffee dyed paper, we are going to find a piece. I got this one that's got blue and purple splattered all over it. I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll just use this piece. And we're going to cover the inside of this card. Okay. Now, of course, you can go about this one of 2 ways. You can either glue to one side and cut it and glue to the other separately if you're worried about the fold, or you can do like I do and just use one piece of paper and it creases in the, sometimes it creases in the middle, but it's not real bad. So, all right, we're going to try this with glue stick and hope for the best. All right, so like I said, on some of the other cards, they don't appear to be real, I mean, there's no sentiments on them, so we may skip this step and possibly only put coffee dyed paper, you know, on one side where the writing area is, or I don't know, we'll have to see. As you can see, I only glued one side of this. So I'm going to glue this down and then we'll glue the other side down. I'm hoping that if I do it this way, I won't get as many air bubbles. Okay. So that's that. Let's pull it off of there and flip this over now that there's white glue all over it. Because I have discovered that's what gets stuff on my paper. It's the glue reacting with the ink in the magazine. and it puts stuff on my paper. So since we don't want to do that, all right, let's do the other side. And since we're not going to do linings on the other ones, maybe, like I said, it depends. I might let this one dry before we fold it and go ahead and work on one of the other ones. But anyway, so this will cover up any sentiments that are on the card that you don't want. Or if it was a card that was sent to you and somebody wrote something and now you're recycling that card and you know, just want to cover up because it was between you and whoever sent it, and, you know, it's personal. All right, so we're going to lay this one off to the side. And I'm going to move my glue mat, which is unceremoniously sticking to my cutting mat, and we're going to get our cards out. Now, the other thing we need to do is select paper. So, with that in mind, I'm going to grab some double-sided paper. Hold on just a second, guys. Also going to take a sip of my coffee. Okay, so I just grabbed a couple of pads. I grabbed this one because it reminded, the images on it reminded me of this painting that's in this, on this card. So let's see. Ooh, and polka dots. You guys, you know me and polka. Ooh, I like that one. Or that one. These are all really pretty. I'm not going to lie. I love this pad. And you know what's funny? I think this was a Walmart pad. If I'm honest. I think it was a Walmart pad. So, you know, not all of your pretty paper has to come from expensive places. Let's see. Maybe... What did I have? Oh, this is the only two. Okay, let's see what we can find for these two. Wait, what was on the back of the stripes? No. Can you guys see me flipping off to the side over here? I love this. I don't know that this would go. This is from, if I'm not mistaken, this is from Colonial Williamsburg. So, oh, the pineapples would be good. They used to do that a lot. Hang pineapples. Use pineapples were scarce, right? So they. That one's kind of nice. Ooh, that one's got marble on the back and a garden on the front. I might have to check out the other pad though. Especially since I don't see anything. Well, I want something more purples and blues for that one, and this is not that. So let's check out the other pad. This pad, by the way, is called Conservatory. If I'm not mistaken, that's this. It's Colorbach, that brand they sell at Walmart. I don't know if this pad is still there. As you can see from the state that it's in, it's older. This is also Colorbach. This is also a Walmart pad. So, like I said. Oh, we might do something real neutral. Not that neutral. I might go back and get that beige lace one. Would that be fun in there? Let me see, what's the other side? Just a pale blue? Ooh, or maybe that. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we'll do that for this card. If I can pick it up. I've cut all, can you see? I'm in my rest period. So like I'll do my nails for several months. And then I will cut them off and let my nails grow out to where there's no, you know, when you go get your nails done, they sand them. I'll let them grow out to where there's none of that left. And then you know, just to give them a break. Okay, so where was that beige one? This one. Yeah? Yeah, let's do this. We'll do a neutral. Sorry, I didn't want to spend all my time looking through pads. All right, so the next thing we have to do, of course, is measure our card. Now, you're going to be making a flip out, and you can do this one of two ways. You can use your scoreboard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a 7-inch card. So it should fit in most journals. It'll make a large pocket. All right. And then what we do is we cut a 7-inch piece. And this is actually perfect because that dotted line right there, that can be our, what do you call it? Oh, I want it 7 inches this way. This is directional paper. So I want it 7 inches tall, right? So if I want my paper to go this way, I turn it this way and cut it 7 inches tall. So we're going to do, need my 12-inch, my 18-inch ruler rather. And we're going to do a 7-inch cut on this piece of paper. True assembly lining, I should go through and cut them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If they were all the same height, I probably would. Since they're not. Okay. Get all the way through? Nope. It always baffles me when my sharp blade doesn't go all the way through my... Okay. And then we have that. It's our strip. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut our panel off of the side with the dotted line. I'm going to do it for this piece of paper, but obviously you're not always going to have that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, you'll notice in these, this doesn't come all the way over. I've left myself a gap to put this little circle tab on. And my gap is about, we're going to do it about 1/2 inch. So if we said this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with an overhang, we're going to make our piece 4 1/2, and we're also going to make it 6 3/4. No, I already cut it 7. We're going to make it 4 1/2 after the dotted line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 1, 2, 3, 4 1/2. Guys, I would, if I had been thinking straight, which I'm not because I haven't had, you see this cup of coffee is not empty? Yeah. Brain power has not been turned on yet. If I had been thinking straight, I would have cut this 1/4 inch shorter. So we're going to go back and do that because I don't want it to come to the top of my card. I want it to have a little bit of space so that it's neatly inside the card. Okay, so we're just going to cut that off. I cut it too tall. All right, and then we're going to fold on this dotted line. Now, I'm getting it as close as I can. You're going to need a fold that you can use to glue your piece to your card, right? And you, of course, want it to be straight, which I will confess that when I did this the first time, I used a scoreboard. So I might have to pull my scoreboard back out because that's not straight and it'll probably bother me. Okay. So then what we do, very simply, is we set this just inside our card, right? And we just glue it down. This part, not the rocket science part, right? I'm not really sure any of this is rocket science. It's just paper. I'm going to round these. When I did that one, I wasn't as into like rounding and inking and all that kind of stuff. I was just kind of getting my bearings and whatnot. I'm going to, oops, actually, I'm going to ink it. Let me see if I have an ink pad that's got the blue. I do. I'm just giving a hint. I don't want it to necessarily go onto the picture. I'm just giving a hint at the edges. Okay. And then we're going to glue this to the edge of our card. And we have our flip out, which covers up, you know, a little area of journal space here. So how's everybody doing? I feel like I don't have enough hours in a day. School has started back up for my daughter, and we are still trying to get our bearings as far as her schedule for the day and how long it takes her to do things. Because of course it's high school now, and so there's just more to it. She's got more to do, and yeah, she's just finding her bearings. So we are working on getting her schedule so that, you know, she gets her stuff completed in a day. All right, so that's our flap. And then when you flip it out, you see the stripes and my really crooked cutting with a ruler and a straight edge. I mean, a straight edge and actually that's more the fold than it is the cut, but okay, so there we have that. And then what we're going to do is we are going to see, do we want our, is this the right width? If this is the right width, I won't have to, I want to just measure it. That would be brilliant of me, wouldn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We decided this card is 5 inches wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's actually perfect because I'm going to gusset it, so it doesn't need to be. I'm going to get my scoreboard, guys. Sorry. If you don't have one, you can use something dull, something that would give you a dull tip and a piece of foam and a ruler. You can use that for scoring, or some sort of soft surface. I don't know if like a stack of pages would work, but it might. It's soft. It gives a little bit. So what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to score. I'm going to score this. I don't know what I'm looking for. Just don't pay any attention to me. So this is 5 inches. I'm going to score it 1/4 inch all the way around. Ideally, I probably would have wanted this to be a 5 1/4 inch piece, but this will work. Okay. So let's move this out of the way. We will need it again, so I'm going to keep it close by. And then we're going to cut all of our little pieces out. We don't need this bit here. And we don't need this bit here. I usually angle this stuff just so that it doesn't get in the way of the pocket or whatever. So we'll angle all of our and then at the top I angle them so they don't show. Okay, and then we're going to notch our pocket. So I seem to have put it away, guys. Should we use this one? I have 2 of them. what do you know? That's because I bought a pack of circle punches and it had another one of these in it. Okay, and then if you're going to make this a pocket, you can do one at the top here. And I just eyeball center. I mean, if you wanted, you could. If you wanted, I suppose you could get out a ruler and do the whole measuring and get yourself a center. I don't tend to do that. We're going to fold up all of our parts. I usually also make my flap the opposite, I mean in my pocket, the opposite of what's showing on my flap. See, I didn't cut that one enough. There. Now it's behaving. So that you have the mix and match of patterns, right? And then we're gonna, I feel like I'm fumbling. I mean, I'm getting this done, but I feel like I'm fumbling. Like all over the place. I always feel like I'm fumbling. I'm telling you, it's the coffee. Or the lack thereof. Okay. I need to fill my glue bottle. Oh my gosh, I got stuff falling everywhere. Okay. These are really fun, I think, when they're done, and it gives you the opportunity. I mean, because sometimes you just get really, really pretty greeting cards, and you're like, that would make a really nice picture or page or tip out or something in a journal. And I feel like this is a fun way to make it sort of an interactive something. Now, obviously, the easiest thing to do with a greeting card is just to either sew it into your signature and let this be writing space, or sorry, I can't see or just glue it in as a pocket like I did here and let the whole thing open up to be writing space. So, I mean, there's nothing that says you have to do anything fancy with a greeting card. There's definitely, I mean, you can definitely just stick it in the book. And some of them are really pretty, and, you know, they would be really pretty just stuck in a book. Okay, so that's our thing. So we flip it out, and now the only thing left to do is the embellishing, which basically what I did was I took, this is my 1-inch punch. I think that's what I used. It was 1 inch. Yeah, that looks about right. I took my 1-inch punch. I do not think, oh, I did 2. I couldn't remember. So I'm going to punch 2 of these. And basically what's going to happen is we're going to glue one to this side, and we're going to glue one to the other side the opposite way. So you want the pattern, you want the opposite pattern showing on the side with the paper. Does that make sense? So you're going to end up gluing them stacked like that if you're looking at them. Okay. Do I want to get let's get my blue back out. Just go around these. Is this the one? Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to go around it for fun. I like using my colored inks every once in a while. I don't use them very often, and I should use them more. But I think I do the dark in there. Make sure it's not interfering with your fold. That's the only thing, is make sure you glue your circle over far enough. And usually if you give it, I mean, if I'm using a 1-inch circle and I give myself a 1/2 inch here, I should be able to put it at just over halfway glued on. Just over halfway glued on. Losing glue to the great ooze again. So, like I said, how is everybody doing? I hope that I've been watching things on what I really need to do is watch some videos on my computer. I got on my computer the other day and was watching videos, and I got to comment on a few. I hung out for a little bit in one of Dear Julie's live streams. I've never done one of those before. Like, sat and watched one. That was fun. So, yeah, I need to be able to have time to just sit and watch videos, and I wish I did more. Because there's tons of videos I want to watch. I have a whole, guys, you should see my list of watch laters. And then I also have saved playing lists. It's ridiculous how many videos I have saved to watch later. It's nuts. Okay, so we're going to glue this on here. And we have our little tab, okay, and our pocket. And, you know, you just, there you have it. And you would glue this down in your book as a pocket. You could write up here if you wanted to. But I find these to, this is one of my favorite things to do with greeting cards. Some of my greeting cards anyway. The ones where I really like the cover, like I love that. I think it's a photograph. It is a photograph. Some of them are paintings. I have some that are still lifes like this, but they're paintings. But anyway, so yeah, so that's another one made, and I am thrilled. Let's try and get, I told you I pulled all these cards out. You know me, guys, I get overly ambitious. So let's see how many of these we can actually make now that I've kind of explained the process. We're going to go, okay, now this time I need to remember, I need to cut it a 1/4 inch shorter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is already 6 3/4, so we're going to cut this one to 6 1/2. And we have to decide what we want our flap to be. I'm thinking I might have my flap be this side. And it's not really directional, so whichever way I cut my 6 1/4, although... All right, so what did we say? 6 1/2? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 1/2. I really want my roller cutter. I have been cutting crooked lines with this knife for like too long. I want my roller cutter, and I can't find it. It's making me sad. Okay. Okay. And remember, well, for this one I used this for my pocket, which I might end up doing again. Who knows? And of course, we're creating scraps because, you know, that's just what we do. All right, now I'm going to cut this how wide our card is. Again, we have to measure and make sure. So we are, oh, it's 8ths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to say it's 4 3/4, and we're going to make it 4 1/4 minus the dotted line. Okay, so we're going to make it 4 1/4. I put the dotted line, I'm making the dotted line my starting point. I don't know if you can see that. 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4. Or you would include the dotted line and cut it 4 1/2. Give or take. I don't know if the dotted line is actually a 1/4 inch. We're about to find out though, because I think that's how I'm gonna cut this. I mean, I'm gonna score this so that it folds better this time. Did I cut that straight? I don't think I did. I didn't. This down here is all wrong. This one here too. See? The knife and ruler, I don't know what it is, but for some reason, not straight. All right, so at about 1/4 inch, which is just on this side of that fold. Technically, I guess I did that upside down, right? Okay, we're gonna do it like this. we scored it, which made it a little better. Now this one being just, oh, no, that's not it. Should have been right on top. Oh no, it's out. Because I'm always using it. It's like my go-to ink, right? Anybody else? Everything is buried. Okay, so we'll get this one done. I like having these in my, these are, you know, I want to use them in journals and stuff. I haven't made any that go in any of the journals that I've made recently, but, like they don't go style or, you know, whatever wise, but I really like these. So I like the fact that I'm getting a bunch of them. Now, of course, when you have this in here, that dotted line is there. I mean, you can see it, but the way I did it the other way, it's because I chose to make this side my, because if I do it the other way, nope, I'm not going to change it. If I do it the other way, it glues the dotted line down. And I can just decorate it with something. I mean, more than likely, because of what this one is and being neutral the way it is, I'll probably put some lace in here and do all kinds of decorating because I like doing that. All right, so we'll put that in there like that. And we have plenty of room for our circle tab. Okay, and then we're going to do our pocket. What did we say this card was? We're basically saying it's 4 3/4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. It's actually 4 6, 7 eighths. 4 7/8. But I don't feel like calculating 4 7/8. So we're going to do it 1/2 inch bigger than 4 3/4, which would make it, look at me doing math, 5 1/4. This is 5 1/4. Do I have 5 1/4? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1/2. I wonder if that'll work. What is the saying? It's just paper. 5 1/2. If I make it, no, that won't work. 'Twill not. Because it'll make my pocket 5 inches wide if I go to cut. I mean, if I do my gussets 1/4 inch on either side, then my pocket will be 5 inches wide, and that's too wide for the. I think my ruler is moving, or my paper is moving under my ruler because I don't have enough pressure all the way down the ruler because it's so long. And I mean, I'm going to be honest, guys, I don't know how to fix that. All right, so where do we want to? I like that in the corner of the pocket. 2, 3, 4. I did the last one 4 inches high. I can make this one 4 inches high too. I don't want to go any higher, but I don't necessarily want to go any lower. Okay. And then we're going to score this at 1/4 inch all the way around. I cut this one 5 1/4, so this is 4, 1/4 inch there. Oops. I left my glue sitting on its side, so it's oozing. All right, let's cut our. Just gonna cut right across. across there. You don't need to do all that like that, and then we'll do now. This pocket is rather pale, so though I didn't do it on the last pocket, I'm probably going to do it on this pocket, and that is I'm going to ink it. We might only get 2 of these done. We'll see. Maybe not. Okay. So there's our pocket. Let's cut our notch. And then we're going to ink it. So, I hope you guys are enjoying the greeting card series. If you have lots of greeting cards, I keep trying to think of other things. I have a stack of ideas over here that I'm going to experiment with and hopefully come and share with you the ones that work. So we'll see how that goes. Oh my gosh, guys. I still have this pile over here to the side of me that you can't see that I try to keep out of the, I try to keep off the camera. And I put things on top of it that like we're going to be using so that I can grab them real quick. But inevitably, because it's a pile, they tend to fall. And then, you know, the whole top of the pile comes sliding down. Anyway, as I was saying, I hope you guys are liking these series that I'm doing. I know we had a few in there that were just kind of random, not part of a series. Make sure that's on there straight, or at least as straight as I can get it. Okay, and then we have another pocket. Now we are going to add, well, first of all, we're going to add our notch here. Okay, and then we're going to do our punches. My little 1-inch punch. See if I can get that set of roses without the, yeah, look at that. And then let me flip it over to see what we're going to get for the other side. And get this. It'd be nice to get it from that area down there where I already punched, but you know, whatever. Okay, so now we're going to ink our circles and glue them down. Nope, that's the wrong one. It's this one. I was gonna say that doesn't look right. No harm, no foul. I just have to ink the other side of that one. So this one is going on the front and this one is going on the inside. This one, as you can see, I mean, it's not like it's not obvious. This one's a very neutral background, so it can take lots of decorating and whatnot. We're losing glue again. Don't even get me started on the glue loss thing. Drives me crazy. You know what? We might do this one up high in the netting up here. Like that. Okay, let me open it up. No sticking. And we put this one on here. Oops. Now, of course, you can put closures on these. You could sew pages into these. You could, I mean, you could make mini journals out of them. You could stick a few pages in there. Run it up to your sewing machine, stitch some pages in the middle. And it could be a little mini journal, a companion journal, you know, whatever. And then maybe you don't notch the back and you make it a, like a clip-in or a, you know, like that. So that's another one. I'll put it over here. We have not decorated any. We'll see how this goes as to whether or not we get around to decorating any of them. I did put together some of these just to show you. I wanted to show you like how you could do this. Sorry guys. I wanted to show you how you could do this with a this way card. I have done them with these. They aren't, I don't know, they aren't, we might reuse. So you would put a pocket down here, just like you did. Let's see how tall this is. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So maybe I make my pocket 2.5 inches tall. 1, 2.5. Hang on just a sec, guys. Sorry about that. It's a school day. So we're going to put this in here. How wide is this? I don't know what I'm doing. This is a half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. So if I can get 7 out of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and then if I get my 1/4 inches done, so 1/4 inch here, 1/4 inch here, turn it and do a 1/4 inch here. I'm trying to kind of speed run this one. Can you tell? It's not going to work, but cut the corner, cut the corner, clip the top. The top clip, of course, is optional. I mean, if you fold this straight and correctly, it shouldn't show, but, you know, I'm the paranoid one, remember? Okay. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you with this one is mixing and matching. So I'm not necessarily going to use the same paper for the flap on this one. Also for my notch, this one won't get 2 notches. Okay. All the way around. This one won't get 2 notches because if you're going to make it a top load pocket, you would end up notching the fold of the card, right? Because this sits like this. You could absolutely glue this in as a top load pocket. Okay. The other thing you could do is glue it in as a side load pocket. So like if you stick this in your journal, I didn't even think about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. This is bigger than most of my pages, guys. Oh well. We're going to keep it up. It'll have to go in a larger journal. I'm just going to keep going. I scored that perfectly to the edges. So this one's going to get glued down edge to edge. I'm making all kind of faux pas on this one. Hey, my glue's not leaking. Okay, so we're going to go edge to edge. on this pocket. It's going to get glued all the way to the edge. The other thing you can do, and I've tried it, is you could obviously, if it's going to go edge to edge, you could fold your gussets around the pocket so that they're not getting in your way. But by the nature of the gussets, it's not going to save you any space. They just won't, you don't have that possibility of paper catching on the bottom gusset when you put it in. But it doesn't save you any space because you made the gusset, so it's going to, okay, and then you have your pocket there. Now, you have options for up here. You can just leave it and decorate it as journaling space, or you can put in a flap. I mean, if you want to, you can put in either a flap that goes this way, or you can put in a flap that flips up. Now, for me, I thought it would be kind of fun to do the stripes. The problem is the back is the roses, and I don't want that in there. What's on this one? Let me see how big this is. My brain is turning, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4.5 by 6.5, right? 4.5 by 6.5. So we would make it 4 by 6.25, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.25. All right, let's do 6.25. Okay, and then we decided 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Oh, and it needs a 1/4 inch for scoring. Almost. Almost. Okay. We're going to score. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to cut a 4.25 inch piece out of this and hope. Let's do it in combination with the card I want to put it in. So I need this to be how tall? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 3/4. Need to be 5 3/4 inches tall. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 3/4. I know I'm doing all this going back and forth and being crazy. I hope I'm not confusing anybody. Sometimes I confuse me, so, you know. All right, 5 3/4. I'm not trying to do this card, but I'm trying to make sure that I have the paper that I want before I take a piece. And obviously there's leftovers, but I don't want to cut it so that 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So if I do half, we'll make it 4 inches wide. Okay, and that's our flap for this one. And then I have this to make the pocket out of. Actually, I have this to make the pocket out of. How tall is this? I'm going to have to measure again, guys. You know that, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.25 almost. Is that the right height? Just about. Okay, let's glue this on here. I'm going to glue it to this side and we're going to get polka dots and stripes. Guys, I'm making a mess. You ready? Come along for the ride while I make a mess. Well, that's the name of the video, right? Making from my mess. I suppose that should be exactly what I do. Okay, so we're going to glue this. And we're going to change our double-sided. And what's funny is this is from 2 different pads too. So it's like, I'm making them different and from 2 different pads. I really just wanted not floral background for this beach card. Hopefully, pretty sure I see a spot where it's not, well, it's not coming over here, so that's good. And then what we do is we cut it. Cut it. I don't think these stripes are the right color, but there's stripes in that one bathing suit on the front. And I just thought it would be a fun kind of mimic. As usual, I was overly ambitious and got, 5 cards out thinking, these don't take that long. I can do 5. I always make myself laugh when I do that. All right, put that over there to use with that. Now, the only thing, this is just our flap, so let me clip my corners and score at my 1/4 inch mark, because that's what I gave myself. Okay. And then we're gonna fold along that 1/4 inch mark, hopefully. Yes. You can do it. I know you can. And then we're going to glue that down up here. Like this. Right? And that'll be our flip up. Oh, cute. Okay. Okay. Let me get it up here so I have room for my circle tab, hopefully. Oh, listen, you. Okay. All right, and there's our flap. Now, of course, we would do our circle tabs, and I would do them the same way I would the others, except this time I have 2 pieces of paper to get them from, or 2 separate pieces to get them from. So we're going to get one from here for polka dots. And then we're going to get one from here for, ooh, do I have enough room on here? I do. One from there for stripes. Okay. I'm centering. Can you tell? I'm also trying to place so it doesn't interfere with the fold. And then we'll just go like that. Okay, and then we'll put this one down. And adorable. And there you have it. So you flip this one open and you've got your pocket and your flap still. Okay, this one's a little stiffer because it's 2 pieces of paper. And then You can glue this down as a pocket, or you can glue it down as a side tuck. Now, if you do it as a side tuck, it's up to you. I did an off-centered notch on this one. So if you wanted to do a side tuck, you could put, especially if you've got one of these little envelope punches, you could put a notch there, right? So that when you open the card, you know there's a something there. So here, I'll show you what it looks like. So there. So now I have this notch here and that notch there to show me that that's going to be a side load pocket. And that's my little beach flip up. Well, this one happens to be beach. So that's what we got done today, guys. Now, you'll notice, of course, this one's pretty decorated. You might be able to put something on that pocket to decorate. This is very neutral and ready to be embellished, like with anything. And then, of course, these ones, my prototypes, you can see I put one of those washi stamps here and a label and a flower that went really well. And then on this one, I found a violets and just added a label and another one of those washi stamps and decorated the flap on this one. So I left the pockets, though. You'll see that the pockets are just left. So yeah, I mean, these are a ton of fun. I hope that maybe you'll pull out your box of greeting cards, because I know we all have one, and make a few of these, and I will see you with another greeting card idea, guys. Bye.